you can be considered no as like a visitor ana nga area which is naa ka sa ilahang perimeter, meaning pwede jud ka nga ma-involve ana. So we've been highlighting before nga this is the reason why you need to know your whereabouts, no, dapat kabalo ka kung asa ka padulong. I-sure jud ako nga kung unsa ba na imong adtuan karon, and also make sure that you know your friends. What's up, everyone? My name is Dr. Junes. I'm a nurse by profession and a rehab practitioner by field. And welcome once again no, sa ato ang Bisaya, Certified Bisaya nga channel kung asa nato istoryahan ang anything na related sa addiction. Alright? And for today's discussion, we're gonna be talking about RA 9165. Ayan. But before we go any further, I'd like to make again a disclaimer that the things that will be discussed here will be purely for educational and awareness purposes and is not intended to replace any actual and complicated situations. And for this discussion, since we are talking about law, it is still best to really consult a lawyer with regards to this one. So ang ato ang first nga question is unsa bay naa aning RA 9165. Now, Republic Act 9165 is a Philippine law and has been declared and entitled as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. So basically mo ni siya ang balaod no nga ga to gani ga hawid with regards to the violation of drugs and how it is being controlled. All right? So, ani po nga discussion, we are gonna be just kay taas-taas mo kayo ni siyang legal na to, no? Kaning RA 9165. So, we are gonna be pointing out those common sections and their penalties kung unsabay na ani nila and ngano kani sila ang atuang gay na highlight na in terms of our law. So, I've mentioned RA 9165. The first section that we are going to be tackling is muna siya ang gina-consider nga pinakabugat sa tanan violations nga imuhang mabuhat. And it is pointing out to Section 5. So what is Section 5 of RA 9165? It refers to the sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, and transportation of dangerous drugs and or controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So kung sa Bisaya pa mo ni siya ang pagbaligya, pagbaylo-baylo, pag hatag, no, pag deliver mo na ginatawag nato nga mga runner, and pag-distribute o katong paghatod sa ginadili na droga. And do take note nga ang penalty aning section 5 is imprisonment ranging from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos, which will be imposed upon any person who violated this section. Okay? And depending again on the weight, on the grams nga ma-recover sa usa ka violator, it could also even go to a lifetime imprisonment, no, if worst comes to worst. Now, there were questions before kung valid ba nga ang usa ka runner, ang term nga runner by the way is the person nga gisugo sa usa ka drug lord for that matter nga mo deliver sa item. Ma-consider ba nga under sa section 5 kini ginatawag nato nga runner? Although gisugo lang sila, but yes, they are considered as a violator of section 5 tungod kay sila ang nag-distribute, naghatag sa item nga ginadili. All right? And also we have to consider as well section 6 and section 7, which is somewhat related. Section 6 refers to the maintenance of a den, dive, or resort. When we say den, dive, or resort, basically mo ni siya ang ginatawag nato nga mo ni siya ang area nga pwede mag-session ng ato ang mga PWOODs, no? Dili sila ga tipok-tipok para lang mogamit og ginadili nga droga. And also, Section 7 refers to the employees and visitors of a den, dive, or resort. So, in other terms, kaning Section 6 and Section 7, ga-refer lang yun siya sa ato ang mga drug den. Okay? Ang maintenance ug ang pag-visit. So, sa mga scenarios nga let's say for example na I raid anang area and then unfortunately you were also there at the same time, you can be considered no as like a visitor anang area which is naa ka sa ilahang perimeter, meaning pwede jud ka nga ma-involve ana. So we've been highlighting before nga this is the reason why you need to know your whereabouts, no? Dapat kabalo ka kung asa ka padulong. I-sure jud ako nga kung unsa ba na imong adtuan karon, and also make sure that you know your friends, di ba? Dapat aware ka kung kanus amo dili if ever nga kay nahinala kaayo ang lihok sa tuwang friends nga posible nga maghatag sa imo og kapahamakan. Char, kapahamakan Tagalog. Anyway, so that's gonna be section 6 and 7. This penalty of imprisonment would range from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos. That's for Section 6. And Section 7 is somewhat similar, still 12 years to 20 years of imprisonment, and a fine ranging from 100,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos. Diba? Murag, ang mga mangitag kwarta nga pang bayad if in case nga naka-violate ka ging ana. So, might as well just stay at home and watch Netflix, no? May pinaka-best siguro na to mga mabuhat. So, for Section 8, Section 8 refers to the manufacturing of dangerous drugs and or controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So, sa term lang daan nga pag manufacture, pag pabuhat ani ang ginadili nga droga would result to a penalty of imprisonment ranging from 12 years and 1 day to 20 years still, with the same fine from 100,000 to 500,000 depending again on the gram or on the weight of the item nga nakuha, and it would even go up to a lifetime of imprisonment. So kapoy na kayo if makasulod ka sa kaning klase nga bisyo. We also have Section 9. Section 9 refers to the illegal chemical diversion of controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So, muna siya ang ginadili no nga pag buhat, pag mixing sa ginadili nato nga droga, and it's also related sa ato ang Section 10 nga makita ang pag-manufacture or delivery of the equipments, mga instruments, apparatus, and other paraphernalias for dangerous drugs and controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So 9 and 10 are somewhat related. It's the mixing, and number 10 is basically the usage of illegal apparatus to mix the illegal drugs sa mga ginadili na droga. And this one again can go from perhaps minority anino is gonna be from 6 months and 1 day to 4 years, and a fine ranging from 10,000 pesos to 50,000 pesos. But if again severe kaayo ang nakuha sa imo, it could also be the same as the other, which is 12 years and 1 day to 20 years, or even a lifetime if dako di kaayo ang nakuha sa imo. Section 11 is very common sa ato ang mga PWOODs or people who uses drugs diri sa Philippines, no? Because Section 11 refers to the possession of dangerous drugs. So, notice if you were able to not experience, but if you were able to see movies or clips on social media nga gikapkapan sa authority ang ilahang bulsa or ang ilahang wallet or ang ilahang bag tapos na ay nakuha nga dangerous drug, they would be basically accused of the violation of the Section 11 sa ato ang RA 9165, which is again the possession of the illegal drug. And this one here can have a lifetime imprisonment, no, even up to death actually, and also will have you fined with 500,000 pesos going to 10 million pesos. Asa makamangita og pang tubos ana. Now, as highlighted by this law, it has been mentioned that this refers to any person who was able to possess any dangerous drugs with the following quantities, regardless of the degree of purity thereof. And that would include like 10 grams or more of opium, morphine, heroin, cocaine or cocaine hydrochloride. The same goes with like 50 grams of methamphetamine hydrochloride, or what we commonly term as shabu. And the same goes with marijuana, like 10 grams or more of marijuana, or the marijuana resin oil, and also even with 500 grams or more of marijuana. And it has been highlighted with Section 11 na if 10 grams or more uh, ang nakuha ani nga droga, it will not be limited to as well with ginatawag nga ecstasy or other drugs nga kanang kumbaga dili kayo common sa atua diri, right? So makount na sila. And otherwise, if the quantity involved is less than the foregoing quantities, the penalties shall be graduated as follows. So it can include a lifetime imprisonment and the same range, but this time it's going to be from 400,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos. No, if the quantity of the methamphetamine or shabu is 10 grams or more, but less than 50 grams. And it can also be an imprisonment of 20 years and 1 day to life imprisonment and a fine ranging from 400,000 to 500,000 pesos. If the quantities of the dangerous drugs are 5 grams or more but less than 10 grams of the drugs that I was able to mention earlier. So, isod kayo no? Uh, mahal kaayo ang tawag ni ang bayad if ever nga makabiolate aning klase nga mga droga. And also for section 12, take note for section 12, if dili illegal drugs ang nakuha sa imuhang bulsa but rather nakuha ang equipment, mga instrument, mga aparatos or mga paraphernalias, that would be swak sa atuang section 12, which is the possession of the equipment, instruments, apparatus, and other paraphernalias for dangerous drugs. So, kaning mga aparatos nga itong ginapasabot, that would include kanang ginatawag na itong toter, kanang ginagamit ito pang simhot, mga lighter, nga walay head niya, so mga gamit, mga possible mga spoon, no, or other high-tech na mga aparatos na pwede na to ma-consider as an instrument to use drugs. So, ma-fall na siya aning Section 12. So, again, Section 11 is the possession of illegal drugs, and Section 12 is the possession of the equipments and other apparatus. Meanwhile, Section 13 refers to the possession of dangerous drugs. Same gyapon sa 11, pero ang 13 would include those if naa ka sa mga party-party or sa mga gathering or sa mga meetings. So, makuhaan ka og Section 13. Meanwhile, Section 14 refers to the possession of equipment, instrument, and apparatus and other paraphernalia. So, similar ang Section 14 sa Section 12, pero ang Section 14 this time is with, if naa ka sa mga parties, if naa ka sa mga tipok-tipok or mga meetings, maigo gihapon ka sa Section 14. Alright? And this act here is would give you up to a lifetime imprisonment jud no if kanang dako-dako or daghan-daghan pud ang nakuha sa imuha. And again, having this kind of violation is a problema na jud kayo na siya kay dako-dako na jud ang atuang bayaran. Alright, and of course, the last section nga atuang istoryahan karon is ang Section 15. Section 15 is kanang the use of dangerous drugs. So muna siyang time nga nakit-an ka, nasapon jud ka sa akto nga naghit-hit na gamit og droga, kani sila mo fall ang imong violation sa Section 15. Alright, nga dapat i-arrest ang person, and the how do you say it? The good thing ani is that sa Section 15 gina-highlight po diri that we are gonna be providing a second chance sa ato ang PWOD nga magbag-o, and we are, or the law is gonna be imposing a minimum of 6 months rehabilitation sa usa ka government center for his first offense, right? And for his second offense, dira na dayon ang korte na ang decide if unsa pa bay pwede nga buhaton sa iyaha. Alright, so pasulod sa jail, and then if goods na ang court, the court will recommend na tawa ni ipasulod nga undergo siya og drug rehab treatment for a minimum of 6 months para at least malimpyo na to ang iyahang ngalan. Alright, and before we end this, there are cases as well na mga to ang mga PWODs, no, let's say nakuha nila is section 7 or section 11 and section 12, or probably if lesser lang ang severity sa case for section 5, there are cases to ang patient nga ginatawag nato nga nagpa plea bargain, wherein ilahang gi-admit nga gayu sila og drugs instead of just the selling or just the possession of the illegal drug or the equipment. And in that way, pag plea bargain nila, ma-divert into Section 15 ang ilahang case, giving them the chance to actually be rehabilitated and be reintegrated back to the community after a minimum of 6 months rehabilitation treatment. So, muna siya. So, again, just pointing out to the highlight, no, Section 5, selling, trade, and distribution. 6 and 7 refers to the drug den. That's what I have mentioned earlier. And Section 8 is the manufacturing of dangerous drugs. Section 9 is diversion of controlled precursors, no? And somewhat similar to Section 10, the manufacture or delivery of equipment and instruments. Meanwhile, very common ang Section 11 and 12, the possession of illegal drugs and the apparatus. 13 and 14 is somewhat similar to 11 and 12, but this one is the possession during parties or meetings. And of course, ang pinaka-highlight sa tanan ang Section 15 na kung masakpan ka nga gagamit og droga, you are advised to undergo a 6-month rehabilitation program. Alright? So, hopefully naamoy natun-an sa ato ang balaod nga istoryahan for today. And always remember, sulayi ang gugma, dili ang droga. Ayo-ayo diha.